Hello, I am Endlessness and welcome back to Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, and in this video I'd like to give an overview on the guild battle along with some tips and suggestions on how to tackle it. But we have now our 7th guild battle, and I think it's kind of crazy because it's been over half a year since guilds have been released, and honestly I have no idea where all this time went. But in this battle we have Keen Attack modded boss, and now it's Garrag, and physical ice is most effective on him, and personally I think he is the most annoying guild ranking boss so far, and it also feels like they did their best to make him as infuriating as it was possible. He will keep draining your command gauge and keep inflicting dread status, meaning that you'll spend half of the battle without all those damage boosts that you normally have at max stance. Not only that, do you see this tiny red icon? This tiny annoying thing blocks all abilities that have any kind of healing on them. Aerith's Princess Guard, the ultimate weapon, can't use that. Kamura? Nope. Any defensive buffs? Also no. And this debuff lasts for almost a minute, meaning that you are locked out of any buffing abilities that have any kind of healing on them for half of the battle. But wait, there is more. Were you happy with your reprieve outfits that allow you to cheat death once per battle? Say no more. If the boss hits your reprieve character with Anguish Thrashing, not only it removes most buffs, but also say goodbye to reprieve as well, because it's no more. This boss also randomly picks a target, so the only way to prevent your DPS to get all their buffs taken away is provoke, and of course Glenn has it on his newest banner weapon. So both Glenn and Cid banner weapons boost command gauge as well, so you don't have to deal with boss reducing it all the time either. So yeah, if you thought the last ranking boss or two were annoying, this one is so much worse. But of course all those mechanics exist only for one thing, to push those current ranking banners. But as usual, the additional equipment level depends on your account progression and how far overboosted your weapons are, and this time it's Naki and Sephiroth weapons that are featured. And since I'm a Sephiroth simp, most of my weapons are Sephiroths, same with the outfits. Normal outfits adds 100 points, but every featured outfit is worth 400 points. So to get that higher armory level, you need to pull on banners and collect outfits. And this time I think it's most year 2 outfits that are featured, and thanks to that my armor level has never been so high, and it's very unlikely to happen again. Since we have to use physical eyes, Tifa with her new US banner gear is perfect for this battle. Half Anniversary Cloud is also good. Zack and especially Yuffie are great, and both of them can lower ice resistance. Aerith isn't ideal, but she can boost physical attack with camera and has Citric Bond to boost ice damage, so she isn't bad. Glenn, obviously great. Cid is even more than amazing with his Enfeeble weapon that will allow you to do even more damage if you pulled on their banners, that is. Cid can also buff attack and ice damage with his other weapons, so Cid is obviously perfect for this ranking overall. But personally I'm using Cloud, Aerith and Zack, and I'm using the same team for most stages, and I have only switched Materia and Aerith for those higher stages, and I gave her Asuna to heal, and then Debrace and Defaith to ensure that no one dies. And also because I have no camera, I have Glavenus and Ceremonial on Cloud and Zack that can buff their physical attack to counter those debuffs that the boss will inflict. And it's just my best camera alternative. And with my team I can one-shot stage 1 and 2, although stage 2 is a little bit close as I can't make any mistakes with my rotations, but I have gotten pretty consistent with it, and then I can do around 55% on stage 3, 30% on stage 4 and 20% on stage 5, but I think I'll be just mainly on stage 2 anyway. But while I don't have Zack's Ice Arcanum outfit, he still works very well for me thanks to this OB10 pressure edge, but if you don't have it, I can recommend Lucia instead of Zack, Bald Eagle to lower ice resistance, and then Guild Weapon because it boosts command gauge. And it will be a great counter for the boss and him reducing your command gauge all the time. And if you have Aerith with camera, you could just give one of them a breach materia to reduce physical defense of the boss, as well as it will increase your DPS. And with this team I can also solo stage 2, but it gets pretty close because if I don't get 100%, it's mostly 90-95% when I tried it a few times. But I think this team is a very good alternative, at least for stage 1 and 2. On my main team I have Aerith with Bahamut outfit and Leviathan, and the summon won't do a lot of damage, but even that 1% helps. Cedric 1 to buff ice damage, Sun Umbrella to debuff defenses, Princess Guard, 2 stat sticks and Blizzard Blow. And in sub-equipment slots I have Stream Axe with physical attack for allies, Crimson Staff with magic attack for allies, only because I don't have another weapon with physical attack for allies, and at least this one will boost the summons a little bit. And lastly, Daffodil Gloves with attack for allies because they pair very nicely with Bahamut outfit. Zack has Gear Voucher outfit, but if you have his Ice Arcanum outfit it would be a lot better. Icy Judgment, Pressure Edge for DPS, Ceremonial Sword to buff Zack's attack because I don't have camera, and Ultimate Weapon, 3 attack stat sticks, and in sub-equipment slots Baha Sword with physical attack for allies, Shark Slayer and Enhanced Sword. Cloud has Ice Arcanum outfit with Shiva, Stream Saber for DPS and Glavinus to buff physical attack, Ultimate Buster and 3 attack stat sticks. And in sub-equipment slot Cloud has Lock, Bald Eagle and Holy Flame Gloves. As for my Lucia team, Aerith has the same equipment, and I only gave Cloud Enemy Launcher and Pressure Edge because Lucia has now Bald Eagle. And on Lucia I have Gear Voucher outfit with Icy Judgment, Bald Eagle to debuff ice resistance, Guild Weapon because it boosts command gauge by 20% every time you use it. So Lucia essentially is my Sid, but Sid from Teemo, and then 2 stat sticks and Blizzard Blow in Ice Boost slot. And in sub-equipment slots Lucia has Baha Sword with physical attack for allies, Enhanced Sword and Shark Slayer with some buff debuff extension. So I got my rotations pretty well now, so start buffing ice damage or of your whole team, then Glavinus, and because Zack is already buffed and the boss is debuffed, he will do a little bit more damage while he's reducing the ice resistance. And with Cloud, as soon as I get max stance, just 1 attack. And personally with Aerith I like to buff her Ice Ponzi as well. She won't do much damage, but it's always something, but it's very close on timing. But here with Zack, 1 Ceremonial to nullify that attack debuff and just continue doing DPS while waiting for that max stance. But also because Cloud doesn't have buff debuff extension, I can use Sun Umbrella to apply that buff and also make it last much longer. And then I can use Zack's Ultimate Weapon to reach that max potency, so high potency on both debuffs. So from now on I do a lot more damage and this debuff will last until the battle ends. And also with Cloud, actually with DPS, if it's a self-buffing attack, for the most part I just ignore it and continue doing DPS, because you have to choose whether you want to spend 4 EB on attack or just buffing. And because this boss targets RNG, so if you're lucky he might not get targeted. If not, then you just wasted 4 AB, so that's why I just must ignore it and just continue doing DPS, because at least in my case it works better for me than trying to buff too much too often. It just depends on the situation. Sometimes you might it might work out for you, but sometimes you might actually lose DPS. But here after this last attack, I just start buffing everything. And then, well, one more jubilation because finally we can use it. And just try to do as much damage as you can. Maybe with Aerith. Nope. Well, she wouldn't do... Oh. That's the first one I managed to do, because normally I need summons as well. Well, that's nice. So the battle with Lucia goes pretty much the same. Just start buffing ice damage for the whole team, and with Lucia reduce that ice resistance of the boss, and then wait for max stance to do one attack. And now personally I just like buffing Aerith's ice damage too, just shortly before this attack hits. It's pretty close, but that's fine. But here, immediately use skilled weapon to get your max stance back. And now with Cloud or your DPS, you can just continue doing DPS. But also because I have no buff debuff extension on Cloud, I can just use Sun Umbrella to reapply those defensive debuffs, and they will last for much longer. And also this attack, it's just RNG who gets hit. Unless you have Provoke. Alright, and this upcoming attack, it will reduce your command gauge again, so that's why I'm not using any ADB with Lucia, because I rather save that to either apply debuff or just get my stance back, because she doesn't do a lot of damage anyway. So here, the same thing. Just make sure that all your buffs and debuffs are always active. If not, instantly reapply them and you'll be fine. But also with Cloud, I have Gladness and a self buff, so it costs 4 AEB, and you have to choose whether you want to spend 4 AEB on buffing or just doing DPS, because sometimes it's better to just continue doing DPS instead. So that's why sometimes I don't have the buff, because it's better to just ignore it. But here, just make sure that you have all your buffs and debuffs, because I will also want to use summons. And to get also Aerith's command gauge, and maybe... Alright, that was close. Okay, that should be 100%. Yeah, but yeah, as you can see, it is very close with Lucia. Very close. If I didn't get that last attack with Cloud, that would be around 95%, I think, maybe a little bit more. But yeah, with Lucia, I think it is also very valid. It's just that she's acting like a Sid from Teemo, but it's also very nice that it works. And stage 5. It goes pretty much exactly the same, just Aerith is a little bit more defensive now. But the same thing. And just do one more hit with Cloud and quickly Aerith. And Zac one buff. But with Aerith here, to defight immediately, so you take a little bit less damage from those normal attacks. And Sun Umbrella. Zac's ultimate, and we should be good here. I'll have to heal Aerith a little bit because I'm scared she might... There's a chance she could die, perhaps. Also Deep Breath. And here, Cloud with Ultimate Braver. So now all those buffs and debuffs on the boss have high potency. Oh come on, why? I don't understand. Like, when this debuff expires you can't heal, but I click 3 times and it didn't heal. It seemed bugged a little bit, at least not working as it's intended. But it doesn't matter. At least for me, there was no risk of Aerith dying, so that's fine. Okay. Just Umbrella because it boosts Aerith's limit gauge. Alright, now we are finally at max stance. You'll be fine, Zach. Right, buffs. Also, just anything with Aerith. Last hits. Maybe. Great, it still worked. And summons. It's a little bit more of a chance. Because when you see the timer 0-0, then you never know if your last attack hits or not. But yeah, that's the stage 5. Which most likely I will not be doing unless to finish off after someone. But yeah, I really hope you found my guide helpful. At least some helpful tips. And yeah, so thank you very much for watching and I hope to see you next one.